Hey, happy Monday, everyone. Thank you so very much for tuning in to 98.3 FM, The Life. You're listening to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. And I'm your host, Marty Jalub. I come at you every single Monday night to talk about your job, your career, your vision made clear, the skills that you hone for the business that you own, the ups and downs, the smiles and frowns, where you're at and where you're bound. And if you miss any of today's show, tune in later in the week to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness anywhere you listen to podcasts, and you're able to listen to the recording. So as you know, every week on the show, I bring try to different guests. There's a few repeating guests, and this one is one of the repeatiest. All right.
What
So anyway, my guest here is Derek Hartmann, and so without further ado, Derek, I'd like you to introduce yourself. So you're on the screen. So go ahead, Derek.
Yes, Derek Hartmann with Frazier Wealth Management. Work with people making better decisions about their money and giving them confidence of where they're going and that the things they're doing are correct.
Awesome, awesome. How can somebody reach you if they were interested in you?
So you can send me an email, Derek at Frazier, FRASERWM.com. You can look at, I've got website, FrazierWealthManagement.com. You can find me on Facebook. You can give me a phone call, 815-308-5674.
Sounds good. Sounds very good. All right. So today, Derek, it was interesting because we talked a little bit about. I wanted to get you back on the show, and we talked, and you were like, "Yeah, Marty, invite me back to the
Yeah,
show whenever,
definitely. Love being
whenever
here.
you got a spot, right?" And so you came up with the idea of the thought of keeping up with the Joneses, and I love this idea. Too often, people what they do is they don't set their own goals. They don't set their own idea of what success looks like. What they do is they look over over the fence at the other lawn, or whatever at the neighbors, and they say that's success. That's what I want,
Well,
right?
and I think it's even worse today, right? Because we have Instagram and Facebook
Oh
and
my
all
God!
the social media out there. And I think that's making it even worse for a lot of things that aren't even real.
Yeah,
A lot of
exactly.
things that they're seeing, if they're looking over the fence and they see someone with a new car, that's real. But some of these things, they're TikTok and all that.
Well,
It's
well, we
just
talked we talked briefly about just AI
yep.
itself, but so people are using AI to write their posts, AI to suggest what they should be talking about. They have so many AI filters that they put themselves through. They change their backgrounds, so nobody can live up to this imaginary idea or ideal that these other people are living through.
Well,
Right?
and it used to be right, and I guess it still is, but you know, people would buy things and you're like, "Oh, they're successful, they're living the
Yeah,
life."
yeah,
Now they're creating a whole fantasy life with all this AI and filters and everything like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So, it's intensified by 100 times. I don't
Right,
even
right,
know.
right.
It's
Yeah.
just a whole lot more.
Well, all right. So I'll tell you what, let's take a little sideline on this. I want to know, since you're a financial advisor, a
Yeah.
wealth management advisor, right? What would you say financially? What's the scariest thing that people should be looking at when they're trying to keep up with the Joneses? Is there something, that to me it looks like an enormous pitfall right
Yeah,
there?
well, and people can tell. People, they don't get into debt and they don't try to live this lifestyle that maybe they can't afford, without knowing it, because they feel the stress. They feel the stress of, hey, I have all these payments. I have, these things that I'm responsible for. I've got this car payment. Especially these days, car payments, I'm seeing them, $1,000, fifteen
Oh,
hundred dollars. It's crazy.
it's insane, absolutely
And,
insane.
and people know it. People understand that, hey, I'm living this life that I may not be able to live forever. Um, and,
But I
and
think
I,
some of them are thinking, but maybe next week or next
yeah, oh
month
yeah,
something will happen and I'll be
oh
able
yeah,
to
I'm gonna
afford
I'm gonna
this.
get this new job, or I'm gonna get a
Yep.
bonus that'll pay for it. I have clients like that we talk through that of, um, you know, you're expecting this bonus to come. I like to plan for no bonus at all, and if it hits, great. It's something extra on top.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of people that, yeah, they are living paycheck to paycheck. Nice houses, nice cars, but when you look at their balance sheets, it's not as nice as
Right, and so let's just say that they can't afford that expensive car,
yeah.
right? They're squeezing every bit in order to do this. Uh, it's it's again, you have to define what's important to you. It shouldn't be a status symbol to impress other people as much as it should just be what it is that you want.
Well, and I think, I've posted the last couple weeks on my Facebook page about this. Financial planning itself, life,
Yeah,
it's all based on what's important to you, your values, your goals, the things you're trying to accomplish. And if you're trying to keep up with other people, that's unfortunately a value to you, right?
Right, right,
When I work with clients, I tell them, I can't tell you what to do. I can't make you do anything. I can
right.
show you what things are, and I can make suggestions.
Yeah,
In the end, it's your decision on what you're
right,
going to
right,
do, and if you're going to, change your spending habits or start saving more, great, you're going to get to your goal. And if you're not, not on me. I mean, I would love to be able to make you do these things, but I can't.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's really people making decisions about what's important to them and what they value. But then you also have people coming in at 55 and 60 years old and going, wow, I valued all these things back then and I spent so poorly. And here I am, and I'm not going to be able to retire until I'm 75 years old.
right, right. So it's actually interesting because we talk to a lot of similar people. I'm not saying the same people, but similar people. And here you're saying you come out and going, look, I'm not telling you how to spend your money, what to do, etc. And me on my side, my company, Master Happiness, I'm telling them just the opposite. I'm like, you got the money and you want to spend it, go ahead and spend it, but spend it on the things that really mean something to you. Stop chasing after the guy up the street who's got the big car.
Yep.
Okay, take a look at the vehicle you're driving and ask yourself, why isn't that still good enough? Or when you're going to go to that next one, because like you said, $1,000, $1,500 a month for a new vehicle
Mhm.
that all you're doing is driving back and forth to work,
Yeah.
picking up groceries with. Why invest so much money? The same with the clothes that we end up buying. Are you buying to impress other people? Are you buying for comfort, for warmth? What are you spending your money in? The entertainment that you go to, what are you spending your money on in order to sit here and going, or should I save it for the future? All right. What am I doing? Is this really truly for me, or is it truly to impress the people around me?
I will tell you, I had a client, new client that I sat with first time about a month ago. We
Okay.
were talking about what's important to them, and really none of those things are, the cars, none of that's important
Yeah.
to them. They are successful in what they do in their business. But we started talking about like the clothes and how
Yeah.
people are spending and things like that. And we kind of got on a topic of, they're like, yeah, we buy these clothes at Goodwill and stuff. And I
Nice.
was like,
Nice.
I actually was wearing this shirt. I got this shirt at Goodwill for $5.
Oh, nice.
And it's like a
Nice. Nice.
$65
Uh
shirt.
huh. Yeah.
It was like brand new, had a tag
Cool.
on it and
Cool.
everything.
That's
And that was
excellent.
kind of something we connected on. But I think that's the piece, right? It's just um, it's what's personal to that specific person or family or whatever it may be. That's what's going to influence them. And sometimes you can help them see and change that path, and other
Right.
times you just have to guide them and, uh, you know
But I guess from your standpoint as a financial advisor, that's not your wheelhouse. That's You're not supposed to be telling them what to do. You can say, "Hey, are you doing enough to plan for the future, for your retirement,
Yeah,
for old age, etc.? Are you doing enough for that?" But yeah, you can't really guide them. Versus me, I'm talking to people all the time about what's the purpose of those purchases? What's the purpose of wanting to move to that area? What's the purpose of that school? What's the purpose of, whatever, pushing your kid to play baseball, whatever the deal is? What's deep down inside? What's the purpose behind it?
yep,
Because too often it's trying to keep up with other people. And then you spend your entire life realizing I can't keep up with everybody. All right. No matter where you are on that mountain, right? There's always going to be somebody above you, right? And so instead, be so excited, so happy with where you're at. This is actually a great show to have after last week when we talked about Marcus Aurelius and Stoicism.
saw that, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And it was really good because it got right down to the idea of feeling good in the present and understanding your role in the world and the control you have and the things you don't have control over and being okay with it.
Well, and I think too, thinking back, obviously, but when COVID hit, I think a lot of people did step back and try to
Yeah,
look at what was important to them, right? So that's why a lot of people have moved out to the suburbs from the city. They wanted a yard and to get outside, and people thought about, do I really want to work these 70-hour weeks, or do I
right.
want to pare back in jobs? So I think that was a little bit of a turning point, but I also think the last couple of years up
Gone
their
back.
spending.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
they've gone back. It didn't last as
Yeah, yeah. I still think there's a great deal of people that when you're right, when COVID hit, what happened was they felt they could see the end. Like they could see that they're mortal. And then they started reevaluating their values. and looking very close at what was important to them. So that was cool. But then I also think that what ended up happening was they still started looking at social media, looking what their neighbors had, and started. There's too many people who, I'm not going to say they gave up on life, but they just started really feeling sorry for themselves of going, wow, is this it? This is the entire reason for my
Yeah.
existence, you know? And so people really, there's such a great amount of depression and people going to work, going, this is it. This is my entire life. I come in, punch the clock, I put screws into this device, and at the end of the day, go home, stop at the bar, have a couple of drinks, go home, eat dinner, go to bed. That's my
Yeah.
entire life until I die.
And it's overwhelming. I mean, it
Yeah,
leads to that depression. It leads to the, "What am I doing? How am I doing it? Am I gonna continue doing it? Is this" if you have kids, do I want this for my children? I had many but I've had people in my life that have moved other places because 'cause they're like, "You know what? I want better for my children. I want different
perfect.
things for my
Yeah,
children,"
yeah.
making all these decisions. But it takes kind of big things like that to sometimes get
Yeah.
people to move. But yeah, eventually I think they're kind of shifting.
I think that's a whole other show. I had some like deep thoughts
Yeah.
about that whole idea of like the reason for having children. And so often I think young couples are like, I want to have a baby, right? That's the whole idea. When are we going to have a baby? We should have a baby. They don't say we should have a child and raise an adult.
Mhm.
Okay. Nobody, no young couple gets together. Oh my God, I can't wait for us to have a young child to raise to an adult. Okay. That's a
Nope.
whole different thing than let's have a baby, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Oh
And you know
gosh,
that because
yes.
you've
I've got a
got young ones,
6
right?
and a 4-year-old. I
Yeah.
know this. I'm in the thick of it for
There
sure.
there you go. And so you sit here and you, I mean, that's another whole other subject there,
Mhm.
is you look at your kids and what you want the best of your kids, and they're going to be going to school and looking at other people. Whether you let them look at social media or not, they are going to look at other people who look at social media.
Yep.
They're going to be judged and pushed and nudged in a direction that you as a parent, it makes it really tough because the amount of time you have with them is so minute compared to the amount of time social media and those friends
Mhm.
have around them. And you've got to get them to trust you and say, I just follow me. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you this right advice. And they're going to go, you don't know anything. You're just an old man.
I I feel so lucky to have kids that are not older, just
Yet.
because
Yeah.
well, yet, but I feel lucky that because what kids go through in high school and junior high, I don't know how I would handle it myself,
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
with all the social media and just it's just a crazy world. But I'm also thankful that I kind of grew up with it a little bit,
Okay.
so I will be able to hopefully help them kinda navigate that a little better than, a lot of people that they have kids in their late teens or whatever it is.
Right. Right.
Didn't deal with social media. They didn't have it when they were a kid. They didn't, and it was just kinda coming out when they had kids. For me, I mean, that
Well,
before
here
my kids were born.
right, but here's this tough part for you is your kids won't know a world without social media. They won't know a world without the connection to a phone or a tablet or something like that. And that's the hardest part for you to deal with them when you're sitting there going, "How are you making decisions?" And they're like, "What I mean, I don't make decisions. I just type it in here
Yeah.
and it gives me the answer." Right? And you're going to go, "No, no, no. Back then,
Critical thinking, yeah.
yeah, exactly." And so that's a massive change. But again, we're going off on
Different
crazy
topic, yeah.
tangent, but I
We'll come
but
back
I
to
but I
that one
like it.
another day.
I like this tangent. But anyway, let's get back to this whole idea of keeping up with the Joneses. Is this idea that we don't have enough, and so we want to continue. We keep looking at what the other person has, and so today we're going to kind of discuss it. I want to discuss a little bit about what keeping up the Joneses in our personal life is, and what keeping up the Joneses is in our work life. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll end up taking a little bit of a break at the bottom of the hour, and we're going to come back and we're going to apply bacon to it. All
Okay.
right. And it's because
I know there's always
there
bacon.
you go. All right. The reason for this show, the reason for the name of the show is Bacon Bits with Master Happiness, and that is because anything you apply bacon to just becomes a little bit better. And it's not only food; it's life advice. And so, of course, we're not talking about the bacon for chewing.
We're doing
The bacon for doing.
yeah.
Very good. Very good. Nice, nice. Yes, we're talking about the bacon for doing. So it's the acronym. So the bacon for today about when we're talking about why are we obsessed with keeping up with the Joneses is this is B is define your baseline. okay, where your boundary is, where you want to start from, okay? A is going to be audit your inputs, where you're getting this information. C is celebrate others genuinely. And I'm really going to like this when we get into this. O is own your lane, okay, where you're at, and N is nurture gratitude. All right. And so this whole theme for this first part of the year, 2026, every show has been really bringing up gratitude, this idea of looking backwards and being happy with everything that has happened in our past. Okay. And I think it's we can never talk about that enough.
I think that's
Okay.
important.
Yeah.
Thinking about that the other day, honestly. It's funny to think how much time has passed, but kind of the lessons you learn along the way.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So before we go any further, I'm going to throw a little icebreaker question at you, Derek. All
All
right.
right.
Okay. Something has nothing to do with what we're doing here, but I just like this. It loosens us all up here. Uh, so let's just talk about your personal brand, who Derek is.
Yeah.
All right. And what you do is if your personal brand had a theme song, what do you think your theme song would be for your personal brand? Not your business, but your personal brand where everyone goes, yeah, that's Derek. Told you it's not easy.
Gosh, I
I
wish I had
didn't
some
prep.
notice on this.
No, no, no. I
There's
don't like prepping anyone
so
with
many.
this. Yeah. Well, give us an idea. Yeah.
No, I mean, I kind of I'm a happy person, right?
Okay.
I'm a
There's a lot of great
involved
happy
person.
songs.
I
Yeah.
love most people.
Okay.
So and I love music so much, and I can't even
Can
think
you
of
come up
one
with
right now.
one name? All right, I'll tell you what, I go back, I've asked this question on other shows, and it always comes back. For me, it's easy. Mine is goes back to, I think it was the 1962 or 63 movie, Jungle Book, the animated classic, where Baloo the bear sings the bare necessities. That's it. It's just look for the bare necessities. Don't worry about strife. Okay? Just chill out and relax and take what life brings towards you. And you can't take that song.
No,
That's my
I'm gonna
song.
take "Don't Worry, Be Happy" by Bobby McFerrin
All
on this one
right, there you go. I
because
like it.
I
I
feel
like
like
it.
that's what I'm always telling my wife, we can't control others, we can't control things that we just don't know.
Yeah,
Can't control when sickness is coming. We can't control any of those things. So just don't
I'm
worry
liking it.
about it and be happy. How about that?
I love it.
All
There
right.
you go. There you go. See? All right. Be prepared because later on I'll probably ask you another question like
All
that.
right.
All
I'll
right. So
try to
yeah,
do a little
exactly.
better
But now I know the depth of your musical knowledge, so we'll stay away from that. Okay. So Derek, when we get into this whole idea of keeping up the Joneses, uh, what about personal life? Where have you seen either yourself or you've seen even other people, whether it's your kids, you, your wife, your family? Uh, where have you seen something where you're like, wow, all they're doing is doing that to keep up with the Joneses? What would you say?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it comes in, well, cars.
Yeah.
Cars
Y
are number one because, like I said, I've seen a lot of car payments lately, and they're absolutely insane. So in the car aspect of things, and then you see a lot of people with their vacations of, oh, we're going here,
yeah, yeah.
especially things like Disney with the kids and all
Uh-huh.
that. And then I know some people. I'm like, you're going to Disney? I don't know that you can afford to go to Disney, that type
Wow,
of thing,
wow,
right?
okay.
Because you kind of know, like people tell you, oh yeah, I'm living off of credit cards, and I'm like, well, I thought you took 10-day vacation to Disney or something
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
right? So I think it's especially in that realm is just trying to keep children happy and make those memories, which I think is great. But I think people also have to limit of is that realistic? Do you want to go in debt for 10 grand?
Right,
Can't
right.
afford it type of thing. So
Yeah, yeah.
those two areas for sure.
Okay. I would agree. I'm gonna agree with you wholeheartedly on that. Is, I think that through, the years I've been alive, a couple years longer than you,
One
okay?
or two.
Yeah, 1 or 2, is I finally got to the point where the vehicles, the home, the vacation, I don't you go there, I'm like, "Good for you, I don't wanna do that,"
Yeah.
It's sad because my wife and I were going on vacation in February, okay? And so we're talking about all these different things, and I had told her, I picked a couple different places, and one of them I said, the place that she always wanted to go to is we should go to Paris, right? And you
Really?
look at it, what?
Been
And
there. It's
yeah,
nice.
okay. And so she goes, "Oh, that would be great." she didn't say it exactly, but I could tell she was like, "I wanna go to Paris, but not with you." So she doesn't wanna go with me. And she's listening, so she's probably like, "No, no, that's not what I said." But
Truth will come out.
here's the deal with this is that because we view vacations very differently. When we go somewhere, she wants to see everything, every tour. She wants to see every building,
Yeah.
everything. I wanna go and sit in cafes and talk to the locals. That's it. I just wanna chat and just immerse myself in the culture through the people, where she wants to see the culture through, like, the sights.
The sites,
All
yeah.
right? And
I
so
get it.
we're very different. So it was like, if we go to Paris, we're gonna get up early and she's gonna go, "Well, I'm gonna go to the Louvre. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna do this." And I'm like, "When you come back, I'm gonna be at that cafe down the block over there." you know, Having my 16th cappuccino or
Yeah.
whatever, right? Uh,
I get it.
right. And so it's interesting because both of us have kind of realized we're not trying to match someone else's vacation. We've realized what we want out of a vacation, and what we need, let's say. And so that's all we want. It's I truly believe that if I suddenly won, $100 million in the lottery, that that wouldn't change, okay? Because the idea of then it's saying, "Well, you could go to
Do it
Paris."
all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could go all the time, and you could sit there, and you could see the Louvre, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to. I just want" because I could go up to Wisconsin and sit
Yeah.
someplace and meet the people. I mean, I might travel to some different cultures just, again, to meet the people, but I mean, I remember when I went to Hawaii, favorite thing was sitting in the market, sitting down, chatting with a guy who was selling fruits and vegetables.
Mhm.
And I sat behind his counter and just started chatting with him, right? When I went to China, just going into the markets of China and the alleys and just talking to the locals, trying to find somebody who could speak English so that weren't just making hand signals at each other. But that to me meant so much more than seeing the buildings or anything like that. And then vice versa, my wife really wants to see the architecture. She was really big into that. Uh, and so it's cool for us to understand what we want as opposed to saying, "Oh my god, somebody just went here, somebody went here." My brother just got back from Fiji, right? And neither of us said, "Oh, we should go to Fiji now," because he went. It's not that we're not trying to keep up with him, it's more, "Good for you. We're not going to Fiji, we're going somewhere else." You
Well,
know?
and it's spending a lot of money to get what you want.
Yeah.
People when they are right now buying a house is pretty tough with prices and that, but like some people are like, "Well, I'm going to buy this house because it's all I can get." Well, that's fine. I'm like, but if it's not what you want, don't buy it.
Right,
Or
right.
if it's not going to be able to get you where now, if you have to buy a house or you have to have a house to live in, obviously that's different. But I've had people that are like, "Well, what I really want, I have to spend $75,000 more, or whatever it is," and I'm like, "But you can't afford that."
Right,
I'm
right,
like,
right.
"Well, then I'll settle on this house," and I'm like, "That's fine if you sell." I'm like, "But if it's not what you want, if a year from now you're gonna be like, well, this was a miserable decision,"
Yeah, yeah.
it's not what you want. You really have to if you're gonna spend all that money, whether it's a vacation, a house, a car, whatever it might be, you know, something that you can deal with.
Exactly,
So,
exactly. So now I'm gonna ask you this is so, when because you mentioned cars, the whole
yeah,
idea of keeping up with the Joneses is so I like driving my cars into the ground. I mean,
same.
the last car I had,
Yeah,
it was, I
red
think
Ford, right?
2012 Ford, Escape,
Yeah,
and it was just getting enough rust in it, right? It's making some funny noises, that type of stuff. Still ran well and stuff like that, so I ended up giving that to my daughter, that car, and then I bought another Ford, the Ford Maverick, a little
yeah.
mini pickup truck, right? And the first thing was, I got 2 questions. Why are you getting a pickup truck? You don't need a pickup truck." I'm like, "No, I don't really need it. I want it because it's fun. It's what I want," right? And I do that whole traveling pints thing where I build the traveling bars. It's perfect to put in the
Your
back.
wife uses it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, it's amazing how often I've used it already. But the other question I get from people is, "Why didn't you get a bigger truck?" Okay. And it's like, because I didn't want a bigger truck and I didn't need a bigger truck. It's not a status symbol. Okay. It's not trying to go, "Oh, look at my truck is bigger than yours. My truck is faster than yours." Nothing like that. I wanted a vehicle that I would enjoy driving. And that's what I ended up getting. And so it is kind of funny when I park that next to somebody who's got a big
Yeah.
pickup truck.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
going, "Oh my God, mine is really tiny."
Well, and it does what you need it to do,
Yeah,
right? It
completely.
gets you from point A to point B. It lets you do your activities and the things you're doing, the truck of the out of the truck.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, it's perfect for you and your
exactly,
situation. I mean,
exactly.
that's I think people miss that. They don't think that through a lot of times. They're like, "Oh, yeah, this is a great car," but then they're like, "Oh, wait, this doesn't really fit my needs," after
Yeah.
they, bought
Or
it.
or getting back to what we're talking here is what are other people gonna say when I drive home with this
Oh,
vehicle?
yeah.
Which is the worst thing. What do you mean what are they gonna say? Who cares what they're gonna say, right? Because if you buy a vehicle or a home, uh, or anything for other people to look at and say, "Oh, I'm impressed." If that's your goal, wow, you're just you're wrong mindset.
They're not paying the bill, so I don't it
Exactly,
doesn't matter to
exactly.
me.
Yeah, so that's kind of in the we talk a little bit that's in the our personal life, those kind of things that we spend money on, and I'm with you, is that I've got clothes that I'm embarrassed to tell you how old they are, but I'm like, "Eh, they still work," right? So I'm gonna keep wearing them. Uh, so that's the personal life, but what about the work life? This imposter trap of trying to, fit in somewhere, trying to do this whole idea of going, look, this guy, he's working so hard. I've got to do that. I've got to get that promotion. I've got to become senior partner. I've got to
Mhm.
become all of that. I've got to grow. I've got to do this whole thing. And because of that, then it forces you to go, well, now I need to buy a better suit. I got to drive a better car because those people are going to look at me, and that's the only way that I can get that promotion. And then when they get that promotion, they realize, I don't even want this promotion. I don't like that
Yeah.
responsibility. Or they go, now I need the next promotion and I got to keep moving forward and onward and keep growing and changing. Uh, so it's a cycle that never ends because if you focus on what other people have and trying to mimic what they have, you'll never reach that.
Well, and I think too, that's a puzzle in itself because your life changes. I
Yeah.
always tell clients, you walk out we can plan for all this, but you walk out the door today and something can change. It will change. That's just the nature of life.
Yeah.
So if you get a job and then you're like, you know what, I'm different, or I don't like this at all. Um, there's different things out there where I see people posting, I got this great job with great benefits. And I've been here a month and this environment is killing me. It's the worst thing I've ever done. And I, got this big raise, but I made a huge mistake.
Sure.
So it's, it's a ladder. I think my wife, she kind of has that type A personality where she wants to climb the ladder and do those
Okay.
type of things too. But the place where she was at previously, she wanted children, and she realized that, "Hey, I can't live this life and, do all these things and still
Yeah.
have a life for children." So
Gotcha.
it's really adjusting as your life changes, and not I think a lot of people realize that after 1 or 2 moves or, moves up,
Yep.
they realize, "Hey, I might be making a mistake here, or maybe I should take a few minutes to think this through if I really wanna do this," something
Well,
like that.
and so this comes down to this is that if your wife is ambitious, she wants something, she wants to climb the corporate ladder, there's nothing wrong with that, not at
No,
all.
not at all.
Plenty of people, it's the issue we're talking about is if she's doing that to impress others or for herself. I mean, we all have to have our own goals, and our goals shouldn't be defined on what other people think of us. And I'll tell you, as adults, as parents, that's one of the most important, the most crucial lessons we can teach our children is what do you want out of life? Okay. Regardless of what those other people are doing. Okay. If you want to mimic their life, because you see these kids screaming at concerts, crying because that person is so famous because they just sang a song, right? And it's like, oh my God, I want to be her. No, you don't want to be her. Okay. Be yourself. Okay. Everyone else is already taken. Okay.
I always tell my kids, I'm like, "Just be happy yourself."
There you go.
I'm like, "You don't need all these other things. You don't need YouTube and the TV or the iPad." I'm like, "Just be yourself. Do the things that make you happy." I'm
Yeah.
like, "But, you can't have all these other things. We're not gonna buy everything at the store. We're not gonna, um, watch hours and hours of TV or that type of stuff." And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
funny too, and I've seen it especially over the, kinda Christmas holiday is once they start playing, once they're doing other
Uh huh.
things, that you see them really happy when they're
That's
they're
cool.
doing those
Good,
things,
good, good.
which is fun.
Excellent. All right, so Derek, we're going to take a momentary break. It's the bottom of the hour, and then we're going to come back with applying the bacon to keeping up with the Joneses. So, everyone who's out there, please stay tuned. If you listen to the first half of the show, I hope you caught some stuff that was interesting, making you stay on the episode and listen to the second half. If you listen to the first half and you didn't like anything, please stay. We promise to get better in
We'll
the
get better.
second half. Yeah, yeah. So hold on one second. And welcome back. Thank you so very much for staying tuned in to 98.3 FM, The Life. Again, you're listening to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. Come at you every single Monday night to talk a little bit about, mostly about happiness, a little bit about business, a little bit about life. My guest today is Derek Hartmann, a wealth management expert, a guy you should really check out. And we're talking about keeping up with the Joneses, the pros and the cons of it. And so we covered a lot of bases about keeping up with the Joneses in our regular life and then at work. And now we're going to apply the bacon to it. So, Derek, we are back to this. And I'm flipping around here, looking through stuff. So I want to apply this idea of bacon fixing this. In other words, how do we tame ourselves? How do we pull back the reins on ourselves so we don't go crazy with this? But before I do that, I want to say that sometimes keeping up with the Joneses or attempting to might be a good thing because it sets us up to say there could be more,
Mhm.
right? If we had no one to compare it to, we might settle for something and not realize we can have more. So sometimes just looking over the fence at that greener grass says, "Huh, maybe this is there is a better life." Okay, that we might never have thought. And I think all of my neighbors thank me because they look over and look at my grass and they go, "Our grass is a lot greener than Marty's," you know?
I was driving in talking to my friend Nate, and we were talking about that. He's like, "Do you think that, living beyond your means and that type of stuff is a good thing for people sometimes long term?" And I
Yeah.
said, "Well, it depends if they use that motivation to further themselves and,
Yep.
and do better things for themselves. That's great. If that's what they want to do." I'm like, but it's the folks that don't use that motivation to further themselves. They're
Yep.
just living the higher life without actually putting themselves in a better position, I
Right,
think.
right. And I think it's got to be we've got to find what motivates us. What's our drive? What's
Mhm.
our goals? Again, it's not what other people have set for us. It's what we want. And I think a lot of this pushed me, first off, it pushed me into coming on the radio.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know any other one on the radio that I said, "Oh, I want to be on the radio because they're on the radio." I did this because I got invited to this and I loved doing this. I love presenting to people because I found I had a knack for it. And the message that I was sharing with people at these large corporations and associations, the message I was sharing with them, I was actually touching them and changing lives. Okay. And leading a great, long, interesting, eclectic life that I have had. I have a lot of different stories to pull from, and so I love doing that. But there was a point in in life in my time that I was said, if you would have told me this is what you're doing in the future, I would have been like, no, I'm not. You got the wrong guy.
Well, and was it a life change that kinda redirected you?
Oh my God, yes, yeah, yeah. So
And that's usually what it takes is some type of life change, something either, job loss or something clicks in your head and you're like, "Wait a minute, I need to do something else. I can't take
yeah,
this stress. I can't take doing this mundane task, whatever it is."
right, right.
And it changes life for you.
And then I like this whole thing. I'm laughing. We talked a little bit before the show that when I was younger in school, oh, I hated reading, right? I didn't like reading at all. I couldn't keep myself focused on a book. And now as I'm getting older, I have a collection. I've probably got about 300 books at home, my own little library, and I do a lot of audiobooks because I want the information quicker. But I don't read any fiction. All my books are nonfiction. They're how-to books and self-help books and leadership books, sales books, marketing books, all this kind of stuff. Because that's what makes that's what the information I hunger for. And so it's funny if you went back to elementary school or high school and talked to teachers who taught me about me and books, they would have been like, yeah, he wants to run away from those. He wants nothing to do with
Same,
them. Yeah.
same.
And
Yeah,
then when after I got divorced and I was raising my daughter and my son, it was really fun. My daughter was in high school and she said, "Dad, you should read more," right? She was like one of the ones to push me. And it just so happened in high school, she had to read Frankenstein, right? And the same time, my son, who was in elementary school, they, for some reason, were reading
yeah.
Frankenstein, right? And they're 7 years apart, right? And so it's we had to go I had to go to the bookstore, and he bought, he got a smaller copy, more of a kid's copy of Frankenstein, which, believe it or not, they have kid,
Oh, I believe
yeah.
that. Yeah.
She got the other one, and then she was like, "And you gotta read this." And I'm looking through hers, and I'm not reading this one. I'm gonna read Luke's. This is like 20 pages. But, so anyway, it was like the first time that the 3 of us read together, and I kind of went back, they became more avid readers, and they go up and down with they love reading, and they put it to the side, but it was really cool, and now I've gone full circle because I just told you, I'm just about finished with what would be my 4th business book that I wrote, plus I have 2 kids' books,
Yeah.
all right? And that's one of those things of going, I'm not trying to keep up with anyone, I'm not trying to keep up with the Joneses like somebody else is doing this. This is just me. This is what I want to be doing. Okay. And I think it's a great thing to be able to push yourself without trying to impress someone else. I'm just trying to do this for me because this is something inside me.
The intrinsic satisfaction from yourself and the
Yeah,
things that you're doing, um, and you get that from everything you do,
completely.
and it's
And you won't get it if you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
correct. You
Yeah.
won't, and that's why you keep going because you're like, oh, I got to find this somewhere
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you want it, and then you either figure it out that hey, these are not the things that are going to get me there. Or you keep
Exactly.
trying it your whole life, and then you figure it out it way down the line.
All right, so I love this. We're at like 20 minutes left, and we haven't even done the bacon yet.
Oh,
So we're gonna go through this, and keeping in mind we got about 5 minutes for each, 4 minutes for each letter.
all right,
All
let's
right,
do it.
so we're gonna start with B. Is define your baseline. All right, before you can stop comparing, you have to know what you actually want. Not what your parents want for you, not what Instagram says,
Yep,
but what you really want, defining your baseline. Okay. So when you think about it, like for business, when I see someone else sitting in the corner office, is that what I really want? Or do I just want a job satisfaction? When I see someone like you talked about, someone else is driving this fancy car, is that what I want? Or do I just need transportation? So I think it's important. So one of the action steps, and I want your feedback on what do you think about this, is write down the top 3 values for yourself. What's important to you? Could be like freedom, creativity, family, security, etc. Uh, and then once you do that, take a look at that and consider that your baseline. These are the things that are really, really important to me. Okay. And then when you say, I really want that corner office, say, okay, so which of these values does that fall under?
yeah,
Okay. We go back to the idea that no one, I'm pretty sure no one on their deathbed said, "Oh, I wish I had a Rolex. I wish I had a bigger car. I wish I'd spent more money." Maybe they would say, "I wish I would have gave away more money. I wish I would have surrounded myself with more loving people. I wish I had more adventures." But no one is saying, "I wish I had nicer clothes." You know?
definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not. It's all about the things that they wish they would have experienced and
Yeah. The experiences
people that
versus
they
the
would
things.
yeah, exactly. Definitely the experiences versus the things, and there are a lot of people that don't spend their money and they have plenty to spend and they should be spending it on themselves. Um, that kind of I think regret that a little bit. Should have done more trips and things like that, especially when they were able to.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, it's all about those experiences and the people.
That's that's it. All right. So the next one in the bacon here is A is audit your inputs. Okay. It's this idea of garbage in, garbage out. Okay. And we talked about this really at great lengths earlier in. If you're going to spend your entire time looking at social media on the phone and trying to say, I'm going to live up to these people, you're never going to. It's impossible. You will never live up to it. You and I will never be Kardashians.
Nope.
Okay.
Ah,
All right. Well, maybe me, but you, no,
maybe you.
no,
Yeah,
no.
definitely not me. No.
Right, right. So stop trying to live that life of like, oh, I deserve that. Okay. Those people worked very hard at that. Maybe there's a little luck involved in it as
For
well,
sure. Yeah.
but they also worked very hard because they were focused on that's what they wanted in life. Okay. Refocus on what you want, not what they want, not what your parents want for you, not what your friends want, but what you really want out of life. Okay.
And I think I see that with clients, um, with their family life from where they
Yeah.
came. I get some that say, you know what, our families are barely scraping by. Our parents are at retirement age and they can't even retire,
Right.
or they're retired and they're living just off Social Security, and I don't want to live that life, and that motivates them. And
Yeah.
others
There you
say, you
go.
know what, our parents they make decent money and they're spending and they're they're doing okay, and we want to, do like them, but we want to be more responsible, or we want to spend more of our time giving back, or things like that. So I see a lot of the family life that they came from influencing that for sure.
Perfect, perfect. I think and that's, what we were talking about a little bit. It's okay to look at what other people are doing for some guidelines, for some ideas.
Yep.
Like, "That looks like fun. I wanna do that." Not because you did it, so I have to do it. So, I'm equal with you, or I'm better than you.
Yep.
Not because of that. It's because I want to do that. Other people, the way they design their house, other people, the restaurants they go to, the way they dress, the cars they buy, those are things that we can look at and say, "That's pretty cool," but don't do this to, impress other people. Do it because that's exactly what you want out of life.
And you can look at those people and be super happy for them and
Yes.
say, "Great,
Don't
I'm
jump ahead.
s oh,
That's one of
sorry.
the letters. No,
Sorry,
that's
we'll
all right.
get
That's
there."
all
But
right.
it really is you can
Yes.
you can smile and say, "Wow, I hope you guys had a great time on your Disney trip," or,
There you
"I
go.
hope that car is amazing, I hope it's exactly what you want," but that doesn't have to be for you. That's not gonna give you the satisfaction of life. It really isn't.
Exactly. And so, we're going to jump right into that. But I wanted people to think about one thing that they could do is start flipping through your social media, right? And start looking at people in there that make you feel bad about yourself.
Mhm.
Okay. And as soon as you look and go, oh yeah, that person, he's like always bragging. That person is this. I hate looking at that stuff because it makes me feel bad. That's it. Unfollow them, mute them, get rid of them
Yep.
immediately. There is no positive in that at all.
There's lots of unfollows that I have done in life for many reasons, but yeah, it's just if
Yeah, I was wondering why you don't follow me
yeah,
anymore.
no. Uh, but it's true. If it doesn't make you feel good, if whatever you're reading, whatever you're seeing, if it's making you apprehensive, if it depresses you, if it just gives you that feeling of just like, ugh,
Get rid of it.
get rid of it.
Yeah, yeah,
You
I
can
love that.
unfollow. You don't have to, not be friends or
There's no
whatever.
law that says you gotta follow those
Exactly.
people. Yeah,
Get
yeah,
rid of that
perfect,
stress.
perfect. Okay, and that'll be honestly, very interesting because later on, uh, in February, I'm gonna be doing a show about how adults make friends and end friendships, and
There's
which is a
that'll
difficult
be a
one.
great show.
Yeah, exactly. So that one's coming up because, this is that same thing. Once you unfriend somebody and they give you the call, "Hey, looks like you unfriended me. It's time to end that relationship because you did it for a reason." All right, so the C here, this is exactly what you jumped into. Celebrate others genuinely. Okay. And I love this. I've told this story before, but it was really cool. When growing up, I remember buying a car that was, or a truck, actually, it was a pickup truck. It was my first pickup truck that was way beyond my means. I didn't, and I definitely didn't need it. I lived in the city of Chicago, right? And I got
Drove
this.
it once a month.
Well, no, I drove it all the time. It was my
Oh,
vehicle,
oh,
but it was a four-wheel drive. It was like jacked up. It was this whole
I can't
goofy.
see you in this,
Oh,
Marty.
no, no, it was my it was a, silver, God, it was a Toyota something, right? And it was just I loved the truck. It was like, "Yeah, this is really cool," because I think I just in my head kept saying, "This is what's really neat, this
Sure.
big truck." But to kinda give you an idea how, like, misaligned I was, it was a stick shift, and I didn't know how to drive a stick shift, so I made the deal. I had to call my father to come, and he drove it off the lot for me. And then I had to learn to
Oops.
drive a stick shift, right? But anyway,
Taught you something.
yeah, yeah. So I was, misguided. I misguided myself to buy this, but I visited a friend of mine who was a little older than me, the first guy in our neighborhood to get married, and they bought a house. And I just this is this pivotal moment that I pulled up with this new truck, right? Went up because he was having a housewarming party. He came out, he goes, "Let me see your truck." And I'm like, "Oh, forget the truck. I want to see your house." I go, "I'll never have a house if I keep spending money on vehicles like this," right? And it was really neat because he was so genuine. He was like, "No, no, 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 come on. We're gonna party in the house, but let me go see your truck. Let me check it out." He was so genuinely happy for me for the truck, and I was so genuinely happy for him for his home. And I think that's the most important thing. It wasn't like him looking going, "Oh, I bought this house. I'll never truck like this. This is so cool." It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
And I even though I kind of said it, I was joking because at that point in time, I wasn't looking to buy a house. I wasn't dating, let alone I wasn't married. And so for me, I was just going to be wasting my money on a big vehicle.
And it's something that doesn't affect your life, right? I mean, him buying a house is just good for him and puts
Yeah.
him in a spot. My brother just bought a house, his first house. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I probably not listening. He's probably working, but
That's all right.
but it's a house that I it's very expensive house. But
Yeah,
he's worked hard to get where he's at, and
good. And that if he wants it,
and
that's
he's
awesome.
so excited for it. I mean, he is so excited for he's gonna have his gardens and his
Yeah.
dog's gonna run out. So happy for him. I don't need to have a house anything like that.
Yeah, there you go. There
But
you go.
super happy for him. It's amazing.
That's
And it
that's it.
makes me feel good because he's happy.
Right, right. Yeah. And so I find myself when I go to somebody's house is I look around just for something that's like interesting or different. And I tell me about this. Like, what's the deal with this?
Yeah.
Like, this is so cool. Or even when you pull up and you look at the house from the outside, I just want to do that whole thing to kind of, uh, I, it's genuine because I'm still fascinated by how many people there are in the world, right? And we live in this small little area and we know a handful of people and we think that's means something. And you're like, no, we're a speck here. And so when I like driving and seeing homes and stuff like that, I go, that's a beautiful home. Like, wow, this is awesome. And I'm one of those people going, yeah, take me on the tour.
Yeah.
No matter
Sure.
what it is. And even if it's and this is a bedroom and this is a bathroom, whatever the deal is, I love all of that.
It's
So
it's it makes them feel good and it makes you feel good because you're learning, you're kinda you're allowing them to share their joy, their
yeah, yeah,
happiness,
exactly.
their excitement.
Exactly. It's really cool. My son lives in the city, and he's got this new apartment. He's lived at multiple apartments. Reminiscent of when I was young. It would be like 1 year you live in this apartment,
Yeah.
1 year don't renew the lease, move to another place, right? And so right now he's living with a bunch of friends, all these guys his age, and the cool stuff they're doing on social media is just funny stuff. And I went and I checked out his apartment, and part of me was like, oh, I wanna be young again. I wanna move
Yeah.
in with you guys, right?
For
It was
sure.
yeah, I was like, this is so awesome." And it was just genuinely excited for him, and he's looking and going, "What do you mean? Why? Why?" I'm like, "You have no idea." I go, "I'm really happy with everything I've got, but there's still something about the fun, that being that age again and that testing independence.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
It's so
I
exciting."
have this discussion with my wife and friends of ours. We had this discussion Saturday as we were watching our kids play
Yeah,
T-ball class, and we were just like, "Remember this? When we used to on a Saturday morning, what
yeah,
we used to do,
yeah.
or
Because you
Friday night, wouldn't be caught home dead, and
right, right, right. Yeah,
whole
so
different ballgame."
it's cool because you look at those kind of people and you say, "This is really cool. I'm just so genuinely happy." And I think that's what it comes out here is practice. What we need to all do is start practicing doing that. Okay. Just on a regular basis, when you see somebody, tell them, hey, love your outfit. Like that's awesome. You look fit. Have you been working out? That kind of stuff. Love your house, love your car. Whatever it is, just try to start going out of your way to start appreciating other people for who they are. Because what it'll do is it will eventually ignite this opportunity for them to say the things about you, and then you start seeing things in you that you
Mhm.
just take for granted, and people start pointing them out, and you're like, "Oh, I didn't really realize it was that
Yeah.
special," you know? And we've gotta do those things again. It's not competing with those other people. It's just finding some real joy in life.
Well, and I think that spreads everywhere, not only back to you, but to everywhere else, and I think we could use a little bit of that in this
Yeah,
world that we live
there you
in
go.
today, so
There you go. All right, so look at this. We're already to O. I think we're going to make it. I think we're going to make it for the top of the before the top of the hour. So O is own your lane. Okay, this is so important. It's when you think about this, is stay in your lane. Don't worry about what other people are doing. And I've used this analogy so often about climbing that mountain. And you find yourself halfway up the mountain, and you're always looking up because that's the direction you're climbing in. And you see plenty of people ahead of you, right?
Mhm.
And you see this all the time. And what you've got to do is you say, "Oh my God, I'm so proud of you. You go for it, go for it." That's what you've got to do, as opposed to, "I can't believe that person's ahead of me."
Yeah.
You spend your entire time complaining that they're ahead of you, you will never be happy. You'll never be able to appreciate the climb. Okay. And I always say, then take it a step backwards and look, or take it a step forward, I should say. Look behind you, and those people behind you who are struggling, reach down, help them, push them ahead of you, knowing, wow, they succeeded. And I had a little bit of that part of their success. I helped them succeed. That's an exciting part, as opposed to being jealous about what other people have. Just be excited about what you have to offer.
It's it's funny, especially in my line of work, there's a lot of people that have far more than I do, that have successful careers and things
Okay.
like that. but I can still help them, and people that have far less than I do, and I can help them.
There you go.
This job,
Sure.
I get that
Oh,
gratification, in so many forms, but I think just in general in life, it's just a good way of life to follow
yeah.
in both.
I mean, you think about it. It's you got the perfect position, the perfect job for you because this is something you know, and this is something you can feel you can actually help people. Same with me. I love what I do. Remember, you and I had a little sit down, and
Yeah.
I gave you some worksheets that I created, and you were like,
Yes.
"Oh my god, this is a really good worksheet. I could use this."
Your worksheets are awesome.
Well,
They're
thank you.
fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you very much. But it's just kind of like, that's one of the things that I believe that I'm good at, that I'm not trying to create worksheets like somebody else. I'm trying to
Yeah.
create, this is what I'm good at. So I'm happy with doing that. And I'm excited about being able to share it with other people. So that's the big thing. So when we go back to this, talking about your own lane, is identify one area where you have been mimicking other people. All right. This is an action step for all of us to sit back and go, what have I been doing in my life, at work, whatever, where I feel I've been mimicking somebody as opposed to being true to myself? Okay. And I think everyone's got that. And I think hopefully the more you are in tune with yourself, the less that it happens. But when we're younger, it's all the it's that's what you have to do. You're looking like, that's a cool guy. I want to be like that person. That's a cool car. I want to buy that
How
car.
you learn.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
You
So
learn what you like and don't like,
yeah.
or what
Yeah.
you're good at, what you're not good at.
And I
That's okay.
think a good question to ask yourself is this, is, and be really truthful with yourself. If nobody was watching, all right, what or how would I do? What would I do? If no one was watching and it didn't matter afterwards, no one would ever question me, or even take it to the next level. If people would cheer me on afterwards, what is something that I would be doing that I'm not doing right now? Think about that, because if other people's opinion means something to you, which we're trying to tell you not to worry about that. But if you weren't worried about the ridicule, if you weren't worried about failing, what is something you would do right now? Okay. And you think about that, is that's why one of the reasons I started writing too. I was like, if I fail, what happens? Then I failed. I wrote a bad book and
Yeah.
I'm done. But I enjoy it. I found a whole new passion, because I just said, I can do this. Somebody else can do it. I can do it.
Well, and
Right.
it's the point of just trying something new,
Yeah.
and you can get enjoyment out of it that you never would have kind of experienced.
Correct.
And I think that's, I mean, you were along the lines of, just satisfying yourself, but it's just trying something new, and being true to yourself in the decisions that you make,
Yeah.
whether
Yeah.
someone's watching or not.
There you go. There you go. All right. So we're looking at the letter N. So far, when we look at this whole thing, we've gone through the entire bacon. B is define your baseline, where you're at, where you want to go. A is audit your inputs, watch out where you're getting your information from. C is celebrate others genuinely, congratulate other people with where they are in their life. Don't knock them because you don't have that.
Really like that one.
Yeah, yeah, that one's is so meaningful, and it's so difficult for people. O is own your lane. Understand, this is where I'm at. There are going to be people better than me. There are people worse than me. Okay, but this is what I happen to be. This is who I am, and I'm proud of who I am. And so N is nurture gratitude. And I think this is so important. I do so many keynote addresses with gratitude tied into it. And I'll tell you, here I'll give you another little test. I promised you some questions, okay?
Oh yeah,
So
question.
this is no, this will be easy. These
All
will
right,
be
all
easy.
right.
All right. So I want you to think of one thing in the past week or past couple of weeks. Think about one thing that scared you, okay? And what you can say it if you want.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I was having health issues.
Oh,
Those scared me. Yeah,
okay.
for sure.
All right. So, all right. I'm hoping you're better now.
I
Yeah.
I'm getting there.
All right. Good. So when you got scared like that, on a scale of 1 to 10, in other words, 10 was it was unbelievable panic versus one, I got spooked.
Yeah,
Where would you rank it?
probably like a 7.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. That's cool. That's cool. Everyone, when they don't know, they always pick 7, but that's all right. No, no, I believe you. I believe you. All right. What about something that scared you? What about something that angered you in the past couple of weeks? And it could just be, I got annoyed. Not because I don't picture you getting that angry, like you're going to,
No, I
yeah.
try not to.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
try not to. A lot of the stuff you see on the News.
Okay, cool. The new
It's
we'll just call it
very
the news.
frustrating,
We'll
yeah.
call you the news,
The news,
frustrating news.
yeah.
All right, so thinking about something like that on a scale of 1 to 10, how angry were you? Y
Like an 8, yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
All right,
some
like
of this stuff
explosive
re
angry?
yeah,
Wow,
there's a
wow.
lot of
All
stuff
right.
that yeah.
This is gonna be interesting, all right, 'cause, you're gonna throw my theory out the window, but that's all right. No, no,
Anger and
it's okay.
frustration, yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
uh, and then sadness. What is something in the past couple of weeks that really saddened you?
Um, I would say I can't even think. You see, I try
Dead
to
air
let it go.
saddens me.
I
Right,
try to
right.
let these the
All right, that's
sadness
all right.
go,
Okay, all
Marty.
right. So we'll
Don't
say
worry, be
yeah,
happy,
no problem.
remember?
Right, right, right. Okay, so now I want you to do this. I want you to think of 3 things. We're gonna go something that made you happy in the past couple of weeks.
Um,
And it could be anything. It's just seeing
I
your
I
kids laugh,
I
whatever.
booked my next mini golf trip
Okay,
and
cool.
tournament, yeah.
All right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy?
Oh, that's an 8 or a 9, yeah.
Okay. All right. Now give me something else that made you happy.
Um, spending time with my son's not in daycare right now. That's a whole thing, but yeah, just spending a lot more time with him has been awesome.
Okay. And on a scale of 1 to 10?
An 8,
Really? Okay.
yeah.
I was like, "Man, you gave the mini golf an 8 or a 9, and you
Yeah,
give your son an 8?
yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. That's
Yeah,
cool."
he has an attitude at times and,
All right.
he's
All right.
4, so,
One last thing. One more thing that makes you
yeah.
happy.
Um, my brother buying a house, that made me pretty happy.
Okay. So again, on a scale of 1 to 10.
I would say probably a 7.
Okay, cool, cool. All right, so now the deal here is you look at these things that anger us, make us afraid and sadden us, and you score those things, and then you look for the things, 3 things that make you happy. Okay, because happiness is outnumbered 3 to 1 because we get angry, we get fearful, and we get saddened,
Yeah,
right? So what we do is you have to force yourself to find happy things. Now, what was really cool is you couldn't find something that saddened you. Okay, it was easier for you to find 3 things that made you happy. It was easier for you to find 3 things that brought you joy in your life as opposed to even one thing that made you sad. Okay,
I really try to push that
well, it's a good thing,
stuff out,
right?
yeah.
But what I'm saying is what ends up happening is too often people dwell on those things that anger us. They dwell on the things that make us sad. They dwell on the things that scare us, and they think our entire life is wrapped around it. So the idea of when I say nurture gratitude, the idea here is to go out of your way to find things that brought you joy, find things that brought you happiness, and the more you do that, the more easy it is for you to find those. They become really relevant and apparent all the time.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
just pop up all the time. And they're the littlest things that you go, I don't know why I just laughed, but that made me smile. Right. And before you know it, you become a happier and happier person. And I think it's really cool. And how this ties in here is when you see the life that I've got, okay, and how happy I am with that, I never have to look at what the Joneses are doing. I never have to look at that and say, I wish I had that. Because anytime in your life, when you say, I wish I had that, uh, means that you're not really looking what you're grateful for.
yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you're looking outside.
Yeah, exactly. So it looks like we are at the top of the hour. And so that
We
was an
did good.
entire hour. Can
We
you
did
believe
good.
that? Yeah,
No,
we
it
did.
felt like 20 minutes.
There you go. All right. So Derek, I thank you very much for being on here.
Thank you for having me.
I think every time I think this happened before that we need more than an hour to chat.
I would love to be back soon.
Okay.
Love your show.
Thank you
It's
so very
awesome.
much. All right. And for all of you out there, tune in to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness anywhere you listen to podcasts later in the week and listen to the entire show. We'll give you some links online. Just follow us online, follow us on YouTube, etc. Thank you so very much. And everyone, have an incredibly great day. Thank you.